What is up, YouTube? It's Kingfisher745. And in this video, we're going to continue our summer celebration coverage. So basically, we're going to look at all the EISO. I will give you my opinions on them. So we're going to kind of rate them. And hopefully I can help you make decisions. And apparently we're going to have to go through this text exchange every day. But I suppose that's a small price to pay. Today's reward, in case you haven't gotten it, is going to be 8 gold, so that'll help us get yet another EISO. And I will buy some of my top ones today. So enough of that, let's move on to the store and we'll see what we have. Now they have added the ablative helmet and the capacitive blaster. Both of these I wouldn't bother getting. There was a really annoying loop that was going on with this helmet, but that hasn't been used for some time. Obviously though, the blaster will go with this helmet, so it depends on your cosmic energy. Still, like I said, we're not going to get those and I wouldn't really recommend them. As far as the EISO, you have to click on the ISO tab, then go to the class one in the middle. They are a little bit mixed up and there's actually a very good picture going around that you could use, or like me, you could just go over to the site. And I'll show that and link that in the description. I really liked using the site because it was out day one and they put them in order of whatever class. So generalist, tactician, and so on. The first EISO we're going to look at is Mystic Defense. It's 15 gold. And it says single target attacks now gain a power draining shield. Takes reduced damage while the shield is up. And chance to summon Elite Eye Bite when attacked. Applies Doom. Now I wrote this one down on my list. I put it, I believe, somewhere near the middle. So it is on my radar, but it's not at the top. So we may get it, we may not. It's not really for my type of blaster build is the thing. Now moving on, Dim Reflections next. It's for an infiltrator. And it says starts combat with mirror image. And takes reduced damage from counterattacks and follow-up attacks. So Blurred and Ukemi in one. For only 5 gold I wrote maybe, but once again this one has low priority for me. That's because there's so many other great ones. Still though, 5 gold, you may want to pick it up. But I have just a maybe and a question mark by it. It could help your infiltrator survivability a little bit, but there's going to be an even better one later. After that we have the Bloodsport EISO. Bleeding increases damage, takes reduced damage from bleeding, and single target attacks apply open wound. Now I put this one near the top of my list. 10 gold and it's going to be incredible on Spitfire, I thought. You're basically going to have open wound on your level 1. And then you can use Sleeping Tiger. That's going to be insane. So yeah, this one's in my top handful, you may want to pick it up. But we're not going to get it just yet on day 1. Well, technically day 2. After that we have Insult to Injury. It's also for a scrapper and it says follow-up attacks apply reduced potential. Removes and prevents lockout effects. This one I really didn't even put on my list. So in my opinion, don't get me wrong, reduced potential is great. But I'm not even going to get it, so I put it at the bottom. Then we have Shadow Walker for an infiltrator. All attacks are now magical and apply Bane. Now Bane boosts magic attack damage. Well, magic damage, period. And then you could also hit ethereal or intangible targets. That in itself is pretty awesome, but it also applies dark forces to enemies who attack with a melee attack. In other words, chance to cause harmful dark effect, apprehension, bane, dark void, doom, falter, sin, and shadowgraft. Pretty impressive. And I know a lot of people want to use this on Cloak and Dagger. So I do also put this one in the top half of my list. I'm not going to get it today, but probably in the next round of buys. Then moving on, we have Flow Like Water. It's for a scrapper. And it says chance to gain exalted when attacked. And uninterruptible. Now I love uninterruptible. Being interrupted is probably my least favorite thing in the game. And then Exalted says immune to attrition and damage over time effects. Because of these two things, I did place this on my list, but I'm not sure if I'm going to get it just yet. Next we have another Scrapper EISO, Master Fighter. Melee attacks increase attack and defense, and stacks to 10. It is only 5 gold. I'm not going to get it, at least not right now, and I may not get it, but I could see how it would work on someone like Spitfire or Quicksilver that gets a lot of melee attacks. This could certainly boost them, that's for sure. So if you want to get it, it is cheap, but I'm probably going to pass, at least till the very end. Then moving on to the next page. First we have Mighty Warrior, and I actually wrote this one at the top of my list. It's for a bruiser and it starts combat with Sacred. So for anyone who doesn't have the Sacred EISO, this is even better. Because you also get single target attacks gain determination attack. That is, the higher the character's health, the more damage the attack does. This is going to be sick on a bruiser agent, for example. The main reason I want it also is because the Lantern of Doom is always on my build, and this gives me Sacred. So without question I'm getting this. In fact, I'm going to buy it right now as my first EISO bought in the sale. So here we go, 10 gold. Then we have the Rapid Recovery, also for a bruiser. Removes 1 debuff every turn, and Recharge restores some health and removes all debuffs. I'm going to personally pass on this. There's Manipulated, Endemic, and so on out there, and unless you're using Phaser, there's not going to be much reason for this. But even with her, I don't really want it. So it's a pass. Most of these I can't even say pass completely on at all. They all seem pretty great, so a hard pass there. I definitely don't think it's worth getting. At least not if you're limited on gold. Next up is a Tactician EISO, the Bag of Tricks. Buff abilities restore some health, and gains grit when attacking or attacked. Now that's a great grit generator, and then you basically have the bonus of some health back with buffs. I did write this down and put it near the middle of my list. So not bad, especially if you like Intrepid Force. Honestly, with this one, I'm wondering about Rescue, gaining back some HP and getting grit. Maybe her attack will actually deal some damage. Could be interesting on someone like her. Then there's going to be Heavy Bulwark, 15 gold. It's for a bruiser. It applies pressure points to enemies who attack with a melee attack. And then single target attacks gain Paragon Exploiter. Well, this could just be great for a lot of different bruisers. Once again, I put this on my list, but a little bit down, kind of towards the middle. And I think it'd be great for someone like Hercules or Wonder Man, I don't know, pretty much any bruiser really with single target attacks. I don't want to list them all, there's a bunch of great ones. Moving on from there, we have the Hard-Headed EISO. It is only 5G and it says chance to resist stun statuses, and melee attacks have a higher chance to critically hit. So relentless and close in one. For only 5 gold, not bad. But I would definitely put this near the bottom of my need list. I'm most likely not even going to get one. Not terrible though for 5 gold especially. Just not as impressive as, well, the next one for example, Deadly Desperation. All single target attacks gain Desperation Attack and All Out Attack, and starts combat with Back for More. Well, tons of people are using Back for More anyways, and this gives you a lot more. With Phaser, I'm putting this on Cloak and Dagger, so this will be the second one we buy. This is at the top of my list, within the first few, no doubt. Don't get me wrong though, I wish Cloak and Dagger had more than one single target attack. But hey, we can switch this around as well. So let's go ahead and pick that one up and we'll move on to the next page. Oops, not the next page just yet, sorry about that. It's going to be the Fleet Feet Empowered ISO 8, another one I put in my top handful. And it says chance to gain an extra turn when attacked. Chance for a follow-up attack after a single target attack. Now first of all, an extra turn, that's great. But imagine a follow-up attack, maybe even if your single target attacks had Paragon Exploiter. So you'd get 2 of those in a row. I don't know, that's just a thought. But I do like this EISO a lot. Imagine it for any Protector Bruiser especially. Hercules, Groot, Wonder Man. Wonder Man could end up being a beast with some of these EISO. Honestly, I'm probably going to be trying to use him in this next season, at some point. But that's going to be 15 gold, and I'm tempted to get it right now, but we're going to wait. We'll probably get it next round. Following that, we have countermeasures. This is for an infiltrator, and it says takes reduced damage from single and area attacks, and chance to interrupt and preemptive counter single target and area attacks. So that interrupt depends on the proc rate, but it could be incredible. And if you want to reduce damage on an infiltrator, why not just use this? So once again, it's in my top handful of choices, and I may very well get it today. Though we do want to wait on this last choice because we only have 17 gold left. The more I look at it though, and the more I think about it, the better I like it. So this one I say is a must-have. For the next page, we have the Destructive Means E-ISO. Single target attacks have a chance to do splash damage, so explosive. And has a chance to make your next attack unable to be interrupted. That's of course always nice. I'm going to rate this one in the middle of the pack for now. I'm going to pick it up if I have a chance. But not quite yet. The next one actually piqued my interest a little bit more. I'm not sure why, but it did. That's going to be the Tough Enough E-ISO. I suppose it's because I thought maybe I could make my blaster agent a little bit more resilient because he'd take reduced damage from enemy attacks, and it prevents extra damage from attacks and exploit status effects. I thought, yeah, we can make our agent a lot harder to hurt. At the same time though, it's probably going to cost us some attack. And typically with my blasters, I'm all out attack. I'm going to be honest with you, this one was in my top handful of choices. But it maybe is sliding down just a bit. I still do plan on getting it though. As far as lethal comeback, it does say counterattacks apply near fatal, and that's a great debuff. It's fatal blow, but it stays on them, and triggers when they get low. So pretty amazing. But that's all this one does. Because of that, I don't have it on my list. In a similar position, we have Plan B. Recharge restores some health, and adds a shield that absorbs damage and greatly increases attack. Now, pretty much I don't even recharge, so we're not getting this one. So on to the Master Blaster. This is similar to the melee one, but it's for range attacks. So I was thinking maybe Rocket Raccoon or Elsa, someone like that. But you know what? I'm most likely not going to get it, though I could see where it may be useful. Following that one, we have a 15 gold Tactician E-ISO, non-stop action. Starts combat with recuperation. Gains recuperation when an enemy is knocked out. And single target attacks gain measured attack. First off, that stamina regen's pretty great, especially today, right? But then it has calculated force built in. So this one's in my top 5. I was thinking about getting it right now today, and it's still very possible. I would say make sure you get this one. It sounds incredible. Then moving on, Crowd Control, 5G. Range attacks have a higher chance to critically hit, so distant E-ISO there. And all attacks have a small chance to stun. Surprising. That's 2 E-ISO in 1 for 5G, not bad, so you may want to pick it up. But it's going to be near the end of my list because the other ones are more of a must-have. Finally, there's going to be another Tactician E-ISO, Solid Defense. Starts combat with a shield that absorbs damage. And attacks and recharge reapply a Patchwork Shield that regens health and stamina. I could see where this one could be really annoying. It says attacks and recharge, so that makes it pretty useful. I don't think I have it on my list, and I may not get it for 15 gold. But I could see where this would be a pain. If you have a lot of extra gold, you may want to test it out. So on to I think the last page. First we have the Big Boss E-ISO. Attacking with exhausted option does extra damage, and buff actions that are not quick actions may be a quick action once per round. That's the Quick and Powered ISO 8. So you get that and something else. This is a must-have. I mean, who doesn't use the Quick and Powered ISO 8? Everyone does on someone. So getting a bonus thing, and for 10 gold, that makes it worth it. I'm going to pick this one up within the first few 5 or 6. After that, we have a Generalist EISO, the Infiltrator's Briefing. So it's going to start combat with Infiltration Impulse, and you gain it when an enemy is knocked out. Well, that's going to be a counterattack, and it's okay. It's not bad, but I'm probably not getting this one. Then we have the Scrapper's Playbook. This one I did at least write down. Starts combat with Scrappy Sentiment. Now there are a few generalists that could definitely benefit from this. You could even use a certain modern rogue costume and then give her this EISO, or vice versa. So I did put this one on my list initially, but we'll go over it once again at the end. Next up is going to be the Bruiser's Rules EISO. So this one provides bruised benefit, and honestly, Enraged is good, but I'm going to pass. We can guess what the Blaster's Stratagem does. Once again good, but another pass for me at 10 gold. There's really only 1 or 2 at the most Generalist EISO I may get. That's going to be the Scrapper one, and then Tactician's Battle Plans. Starts combat with Tactical Tendency. Now this I thought was going to be pretty incredible, maybe even with Phaser. Unfortunately, you get an extra turn on an attack, so you can't use her level 9 and Triage. At least I don't think, so that spoils it a little bit, but I still think this is the best one to get. So if I get any, it's going to be this one first. The final EISO is Close Quarters Champion. Gains Rising Up when attacked by an enemy melee attack, and single target attacks gain Finest Hour. Now anyone gaining Finest Hour is going to be much more of a powerhouse. Imagine Spitfire with it. So you could team her with Heimdall or Blue Marvel. But anyone, Blade and so on. So this is definitely on my list, and could be a lot of fun. I guess my only hesitation is I basically just use Spitfire as far as a great candidate that's a scrapper for this. And she's going to attack and not have Rising Up for those first 2 hits. So we'll just have to see, but I do think this is awesome. Now we've gone through I think all of them, and we're going to wrap this one up soon, but I want to show you the site, and they organized them by class. So it's pretty awesome. The link will be down below, and as you can see, we start with Generalist. And I'm going to look at my list for this and tell you exactly what I wrote down. For Generalist, I just wrote Tactician's Battle Plans. Attacks grant an extra turn. So if I get one for Generalist, it's going to be that one first. Then as for Tactician, I wrote Big Boss, it's a better quick and powered ISO 8, and Non-Stop. Calculated Force plus Stamina. So those are going to be my first 2 I get for that. Next, out of the Blaster EISO, I wrote Tough Enough, Reduced Damage. It sounded interesting, and I'm kind of waning on it a little bit, but I still may end up getting it. And then I did actually write Mystic, Defense Shield, and Eye Bite for Doom. That one's really up in the air. I probably won't get it. Quickly kind of moving on, we're going to go with Bruiser. And I wrote Fleet Feet, awesome for a protector. Heavy Bulwark, the Paragon Exploiter sounded good. And you know what I think about Mighty Warrior, we already got it. So must have. Fleet Feet will be next though. After that we have Scrapper. Flow Like Water. It sounded really good, but once again, I don't know if I'm going to use it or not. I may get it. Bloodsport increases bleeding, open wound, single target attacks. And I think Spitfire will be good with it. And Close Quarter Champion, I also think is going to be interesting, so I wrote it down. The final class we have is Infiltrator, and I wrote Dim Reflection. Once again, that's a maybe. But I think countermeasures, you might as well just get that. It also reduces damage, and you have a chance to interrupt counter. So get countermeasures, and actually that's going to be my 3rd EISO I pick up. So we will get that one next. And then Deadly Desperation I thought, must have with Phaser, Cloak and Dagger. At least that's what I wrote down. Back for More and Desperation Attack, plus All Out Attack. I just think it's going to be great, especially if you already use Back for More. So those are my thoughts on the EISO, and I hope I helped out. If you still have any questions, write them in the comment section below and I will try to help you out. So I'll try to answer you. Like I said, we are going to go by countermeasures, and that's going to be it for this video. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, I hope it helped, and I hope you love the summer celebration as much as I do. Thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Then until next time, good luck and take care.